reading for truth.
The Olympic champion, Miss Pauline Davis, running sideways from the inner city streets of Flemish Street to the Olympic podium. Miss Pauline Davis, formerly known as Sweet Pea, Pearl, and Little Lady, would write about racism, sexism, classism, political bias, and overcome not one, but 2 lifetime bans by her federation. A few romance stories, a few drama stories, I know y'all like drama, based on the book Miss Pauline Davis Knew How to Tussle. Read the book to find out more. Miss Pauline Davis would go on to become an honorary member of the World Athletics, a coach, and a motivational speaker. In the wise words of Miss Pauline Davis,
I don't care where you are in that race, you don't ever give up. Right. You don't ever quit. Cut your movie.
Yeah, she is one of the Bahamian Golden Girls. Pauline Davis had a stellar career on the track, which included 2 Olympic gold medals, and she is now finding success in retirement. Davis has been awarded multiple international honors for her memoir, Running Sideways, the Olympic champion who made track and field history. The 57-year-old Davis says the sole purpose of writing the memoir was to tell her story so that no other Bahamian athlete would have to go through the mental stress, the pain, and the agony that she had to endure over the 4 decades that she competed as a world-class athlete. We are fortunate to have Pauline Davis talking to us via telephone today. We wanted to have her by Zoom, but it didn't quite work out. Sweet Pea. I didn't know that was one of your nicknames, Pauline. Talk to us quickly about that one first.
Well, Sweet Pea, that's what my mommy calls me. She calls me Sweet Pea because she says I'm a very sweet, beautiful girl, and I'm always very sweet and nice to everybody that I meet and to my siblings.
Yeah.
So that's how that name came about.
All right, Pauline, always a pleasure to talk to you. We had promoted this book when you were in Jamaica for the Carifta Games last year, and you were here for the games and so on, and we advertised the book. And we thought the book had a lot of promise based on what it had in it. But I think even by your admission, you didn't expect to have this kind of success with this biography.
You're so right, Lance. I was in complete shock when I received those international awards. At first, I thought it was fake news. But later when I found that no, it's not fake news, this is actually the truth. And I was over the moon. I was in shock. I'm like, how does a barefoot gal, I'm speaking behaving to you now, how does a barefoot gal go from Baintown to the world like this, you know?
Yeah. All right, just for clarity, the Track and Field Writers Award that you had picked up earlier on this year, was a different award from what you picked up in Budapest last week?
No, it's the same award. They just presented it to me there.
It was presented?
Yes. The plaque. They presented me the plaque there.
Yes. So it sort of formalized it?
Yes.
All right. Well, Pauline, talk to us quickly about the reaction that you've had to this book, because we see the honors that you've attained because of the book, but the book is designed to inspire young athletes, particularly the Bahamas, but I'm sure no matter where in the world you're from, you can be inspired by this book. Do you feel it is hitting the spot?
Yes, I feel that it's hitting the spot, Lance. The fact that I won, the first international award that I won was, they call it the Academy Award of Book Writing. It's the same one that Pope Francis won. Yes. And they explained to me this way. I never even knew, first of all, Lance, I never knew I was in a race. They entered my book into this thing, right?
Yes.
And they said, well, Pauline, this is how it goes. It's like running a race. It's like the heat, the quarterfinal, the semifinal, and the final. And they said my book just kept moving along. And the next thing they know, I won the whole concaboodle.
Yeah, Pauline, I mean, the book has been described as a raw, uplifting story. When you sat down to put this together, Were you thinking, I'm just going to give them everything raw? Is that what you were going for?
Well, Lance, I think you know me very well. I always speak truth to power. I'm going to, if something is black, I'm going to say it's black. I'm not going to say it's red. I'm known for that when I was a child. That's my personality. I don't sugarcoat nothing. I call it what it is. And so, yes, I wanted to give the book raw. I wanted to give it just the way everything happened.
Yeah. If you had to point to something that you are most proud of about this book, what would that be?
What I'm most proud of about this book is that it brings attention to officials or persons that call themselves officials, to say to them that you cannot treat your elite athletes like this. You cannot treat an athlete like me coming through the system as a young girl. You cannot try to destroy my spirit, because there's some athletes who will never survive what I've been through. It just wouldn't happen, especially athletes of today, Lance. They cannot, they're much weaker in their mind. They're much more gifted and talented, but they're more weaker in their mind. And so you have to be so careful what you do and what you say. And so I'm very proud of the fact that I was able to write this book and to bring attention to some of the pitfalls, speed bumps, hurdles that were placed in my path, and that I was able to make it. And hopefully saying to the officials, you don't get to determine somebody's destination. God gets to do that. So allow them to be themselves, allow them to do what they do, and we can see what God had in store for them and in store for our country.
Yeah. Pauline, I'm very interested about how the sales have been going for this book, especially back home in the Bahamas.
It's been going very, very well. There are a lot of Bahamians they weren't privy to some of the information, and they have been supporting me 300%. When I had my book signing lunch, I did it in a place called Goodman's Bay, because Goodman's Bay is where I got my start at 4:30 a.m. in the morning. Coach Wisdom used to start blowing the whistle, and we had to start our practice at 4:30 a.m. in the morning. And a lot of persons were saying to me, oh, do it in a hotel. Why do you want to do it there? I said, because it's organic. This is where I got my start, and this is where I want to have it. And that's exactly what I did. And I must say, Lance, that my fellow Bahamians came out. I was overwhelmed. I was overwhelmed with gratitude. I couldn't believe the amount of people that were there. They showed up, and they supported me.
Yeah, that is amazing. That is fantastic, Pauline. By the way, I've been told maybe only once that I sound a little bit like Lance, but it's Ricardo.
Ricardo, I humbly apologize.
Well, Lance started, but Ricardo picked up.
But I know the difference between the two of y'all. Y'all two very amazing reporters.
Yeah, listen, Lance only ran the opening leg. I'm on the back stretch.
Oh my goodness! Lance is inside of my head for whatever reason. But you both have beautiful voices, though.
Thank you very much, Pauline. You were in Budapest. Disappointing from this side that the Bahamas did not win a medal at this World Championship. Of course, Shauna Miller-Weibo just coming back from the birth of her first child. Unfortunately, Stephen Gardner getting hurt in the men's 400 semi-final. Are you in any way concerned about where Bahamian athletics is at this stage?
Yes, I am deeply concerned. I'm very, very deeply concerned. As a matter of fact, I am about to start a foundation in a few weeks. I'm about to start a foundation where we'll be able to help young boys and girls that came out of the same circumstance that I came out of, and help them to be focused and to believe in themselves. Unfortunately, the direction of my federation is not what I would like to see it be, and we have to change the trajectory. And I am tired of speaking till I'm blue in the face. So I'm just going to take matters at hand, and I'm just going to do what I need to do to make sure that our athletes are getting there. Unfortunately, what is happening, a lot of our coaches, they charge fees to coach these kids, And a lot of the kids that come from the inner city, their parents could barely pay to buy food to put on the table for them, much as to pay a coach to coach them. So what we're now seeing is that a lot of the athletes that we are now seeing, they're not from the inner city.
It's a serious problem, you know, Pauline, and it's not just the Bahamas, because I think it happens other places as well, across the Caribbean too. I think there's a similar system in Trinidad and Tobago. It's a system that I see quite a lot in Canada, for example, but it cannot be the best system for development. And I've often said that part of the reason track and field is so successful in Jamaica is because the athletes, the kids, don't have to pay to compete. I actually call it the pay to compete culture, and I think wherever that culture exists, there is always going to be a lack of development, and you're going to have fewer quality athletes coming through, because what you will get are the athletes who are financially well off enough to pay for the training, getting the training, but that does not mean that your best talents are getting the training and therefore getting an opportunity to come through the system, and that is problematic.
Yeah, Ricardo, I support exactly what you say. Let me tell you what happened. So when the Golden Girls, when we won our medals, right? You know, it was a big celebration in the Bahamas. Everybody loved us and everything like that. It opened the eyes of persons within our community that there were a lot of scholarship available in track and field. Because at one time, persons used to think you're just there running up and down for no reason, and that the number two thing they thought about is you got to be dumb and stupid, right? They think that athletes are dumb and stupid until they discovered that it is not so. Because as I tell people all the time, Ricardo, I say to them, I read a magazine a few years ago, and it was Fortune 500 company CEOs, Ricardo. And those CEOs said the reason they became who they are was because of discipline, dedication, desire, determination, and they were all former athletes. Those are the things that they learned from being athletes. So now that the Golden Girls open up that floodgate to where Bahamians begin to recognize that, wait a minute, there are plenty of scholarship available. You have Bahamians now who might have 2 or 3 kids. And then even since this pandemic, they can't afford to send all those kids to college. So they could bring their child to track and field and pay a coach to coach this child. And even if this child could get a 3/4 scholarship, a half a scholarship, or one get a full scholarship, one get a quarter, that would help, you know, this family. And so this is where the federation has to step in, Ricardo. The federation has to step in and make a difference. Even since this pandemic, there are some children who are not getting 3 square meals a day. Again, the federation must step in. You must help. But unfortunately, these things are not happening. So persons like myself have got to now step to the plate and have got to try to make a difference. And that's what my plan is for my foundation. I want to make a difference. I want to turn over every single rock in every single community and find those diamonds in the rough.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to place them into track clubs. I'm going to pay the coaches from my foundation to coach these athletes. I'm going to make sure they have 3 square meals a day. I'm going to make sure they learn public speaking, wellness and grooming, finance. I'm literally going to be running like a sports academy.
Yeah. Well, Pauline, we did say before we started talking to you that you have found success in retirement, not only with your biography, but as a coach, the foundation you've started. And I know you would spend a period as well on the IAAF Council as it was then. Just before you go, because women are becoming a lot more prominent in sports administration, a quick comment on Jimena Restrepo, the Colombian, who you raced against when you were an athlete, now being a vice president of World Athletics. How did that story grab you?
Well, I'm very proud of World Athletics, my sport, and I'm very, very proud of Lord Sebastian Coe and the way he's been pushing, like the way he's pushing females. My sport is a leading sport in this, and I'm very proud to see Restrepo get onto the council as a vice president of our sport, and I look forward to when my sports go to 50-50. The 50 council members, 50 female. Well, actually, we made it. We have made it 2 years before. We actually already there.
Yes.
Yes.
You have.
We made it. Yes, we just did it last month. So I'm extremely proud.
All right.
You know, we stepped tall and we're showing the rest of the world this is how you do it.
Pauline, more strength to you, and congrats again on your biography, Running Sideways. And we know that it's just the tip of the iceberg, and Pauline has a lot more to unfold. All the best with the work that you're doing in the Bahamas, and we'll be in touch. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Ricardo, and hello, Jamaica.
All right, bye. Back with more of the Sports Match Zone after this.